So before you grab your torches and pitchforks, let me clarify by saying that I do actually like this film. Throughout my childhood, I would watch this movie over and over and shared a love for it with my 3 younger sisters. However, as I got older, I started to have questions, which turned into seeing flaws, which finally became one big question. Is The Lion King overrated? As of right now, I think so. Now, this isn't an analysis of the entire film, frame by frame, studying each metaphor or relationship, but more of an insight as to what I believe are some aspects of the film that are the weakest, but are for some reason overlooked by the audience.
But first...
Now, I normally wouldn't go straight after the music in a film, but after all, this is a musical. If I had to ask anyone what their favorite part of The Lion King is, they'd probably say the music. Is it catchy? Sure. But is it any good? Let's look at each song in the film. While The Circle of Life surrounds one of the most epic Disney openings ever, the rest of the movie does little to top it. I Just Can't Wait to Be King has some colorful visuals, but the song itself is a little underwhelming. Its biggest flaw is that the song centers around young Simba wishing to no longer be told what to do, where to be, and how to act. But what does he do for the rest of the film?
Run away, Simba.
Remember who you are.
Learn from it.
Listen, kid, if you live with us, you have to eat like us.
Go on! Get out of here!
He does as he's told. So other than being a fun song, what was the point? I'm also not a fan of the unrealistic nature of the visuals, with animals working synchronized to create a dance number. In a movie that opens very serious and begins quite mature, a kid's number with funny animals just doesn't seem to fit. Be Prepared is a fun villain song, and I actually think one of the best of the movie. Jeremy Irons has a good turn as the voice of Scar, but his singing voice leaves much to be desired. But here's where the movie falls to its lowest point. Hakuna Matata is the worst song in the entire film, which is a shame, because that's one of your favorite songs in the movie. Timon and Pumbaa aren't exactly the most thrilling voices to listen to start.
For the rest of your day. Philosophy.
Now most of you probably remember the chorus, and of course, how could you not? It's repeated over and over. But if you re-watch the scene, you can see that the only verse in the song is dedicated to a fart joke from Pumbaa. Yes, what many of you consider a great song from the movie has its one and only verse dedicated to flatulence.
And I got downhearted. How did you feel? Every time that
Hey, Pumbaa, not in front of the kids.
Oh, sorry.
Why even include that last bit? The joke was clearly aimed at the kids. Want to hear what great, fun songs in Disney movies actually sound like? A good song.
So I'm roughly the size of a barge.
Hakuna Matata.
When I was a young warthog.
Very nice.
A good song.
Tune as old as song, bittersweet and strange, finding you can change, learning you were wrong.
Hakuna Matata.
That's a spicy meatball.
And I'm sorry, but I just have a hard time watching Simba spend little to no time dealing with his father's death and the separation from his family. The song not only tells him to forget all of that, but it actually skips over years of him maturing and learning to deal with his past. How does that work in real life? This is the song that kids hang on to the most because they find it the most entertaining and the funniest, no matter how crude the humor. So knowing that, why would the song teach kids that the best way to deal with your past is to forget about it? And yes, I know about Rafiki's lesson later in the movie, but we'll get to that later. Can You Feel the Love Tonight is a fine song, but it just feels rushed. Why is there love tonight? They just reunited 30 seconds ago, and now they're going to make love while Timon and Pumbaa masturbate in the background?
Can you feel that? Huh? Can you feel it, Captain Compost?
Do you hate me yet, YouTube? Well, I'm just getting warmed up. Let's talk about the characters. Simba as a kid, while not wholly interesting, is at least typical of his age. He's mischievous and rambunctious. What young boy isn't? It's the grown Simba that underwhelms. He isn't really a dynamic character, and is only able to face his past once confronted by Rafiki and his father in a vision. We never really get to see him struggle with his past on his own, or really make decisions based on his own personal thoughts. He just goes where people tell him to, and I think that's at the movie's loss. Hamlet, in the play and film this movie supposedly is based off of, deals with a great deal of inner turmoil. Why was much of that left out of this film? I get that it's a kid's movie, but so is The Hunchback of Notre Dame. If Frollo can be shown dealing with a struggling subconscious, where his religious ideals clash with his sexual desire for Esmeralda, all the while making the audience discomforted in a Disney film, then why can any time be spent devoted to Simba's inner struggle? Scar actually opens the movie as an interesting villain. He's patient, cunning, and is ready to seize opportunity when it presents itself. However, after killing Mufasa and taking the throne, the entire Pride Land goes to waste. I understand that maybe he was just a bad ruler, but to take an intelligent villain and waste the second half of the movie making him out to be an ignorant fool just seems to weaken his character. There aren't really other characters with much time devoted to them. Mufasa's pretty straightforward, but dies early on. Nala is Simba's love interest, but remains largely forgotten for the majority of the movie. Zazu? Useless. Timon and Pumbaa? The majority of these characters are one note and not dynamic at all, and would be largely forgotten if not for the beautiful animation. First off, the movie is a giant ripoff of Kimba the White Lion. Okay, aside from that bit, I have a huge problem with the movie's message. Rafiki, upon learning Simba is still alive, finds him and has a lesson to teach him.
Ow! Jeez, what was that for?
It doesn't matter. It's in the past.
Yeah, but it still hurts.
Oh, yes, the past can hurt. But the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it.
I like that message, and it's shown in a pretty clever way. However, the movie botches the message in the end. When Simba does in fact go back to confront his past, nobody backs him up and stands up for him. Not until he realizes he didn't actually get his father killed. The message now changes to, as long as you didn't do it, people will have your back. But if you come forward to face the music and take responsibility for your actions, no one will care about you. In fact, you deserve to die? Nobody even takes his side until they learn it actually wasn't him. What? What is that supposed to teach a child? As a kid, I was always confused by this part, and now I realize it's because the message was so mishandled, even if unintentionally. You probably think I hate the movie. Well, no, not at all. The animation is fantastic, and the large scale of the movie makes it feel very epic. There's some good laughs throughout, and some interesting ideas. The instrumentation is a huge credit to Hans Zimmer, one of the greatest movie composers ever. There's a lot to like in this film. I just think it's not the perfect movie that many make it out to be. I would put this in my top 10 Disney animated films, but I don't think I have it as high as most people, and certainly not number 1. The musical numbers are extremely overrated, and the characters are mostly paint by numbers and boring. As kids, we enjoyed this movie, and most still do. But as an adult, I'm starting to see its flaws. Well, that's my take on Lion King. I promise the next movie breakdown will be more positive. Let me feel your anger down in the comment section, and be sure to subscribe for more content.